Their daughter called KUSI's Michael Turco when a sinkhole threatened to swallow up their home.
And Turco says with Christmas right around the corner, they can't even begin to think about the festivities.
Normally, they'd be decorating their house for Christmas by now, but not this year. Not after a ruptured metal pipe from an underground storm drain took out a big chunk of their yard. They're too worried about losing their house when El Nino hits to do any decorating. And even though that pipe drains county streets, county officials keep telling them there's nothing we can do.
You're looking at a scene of chaos in Spring Valley last December. During a heavy rain, a river of water came pouring through their yard.
The storm drain erupted at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Water coming out of it?
Water coming out into my house, my neighbor's house. And we called the county, we called fire department.
When it was over and the water went down, they were left with a big mess and ruined carpets. But that's nothing compared to what they discovered 1 year later.
Oh, man. That's huge. And it's right next to your house.
Exactly.
The more you look, the worse it gets. And they didn't remove any dirt here. They just took off the concrete on top.
2 Saturdays ago, he noticed that the concrete was sinking in. So he said, let's break it and, replace it. So we said, okay.
See what's under the concrete.
Exactly. When they started breaking the concrete, they saw a hole and they said, oh, there's a hole right there. But we thought it was, something small.
We was trying to break the concrete, and then when we saw the hole, then we started breaking it, and then a big chunk of peat came out and fell down.
I started shaking,
scared.
and scared, and it was hard.
I mean,
giant hole.
Giant hole, like 9 feet down. And we see water in there and everything. I say, oh, this is something that we cannot do it.
Even when you see it in person, it's hard to grasp the scope of this thing. This hole is about as big as a small swimming pool. In the bottom, a corrugated metal pipe that's got to be 5 to 6 feet in diameter. That pipe comes over here into a concrete junction box with a manhole cover in it.
So Hector Ruiz took off that manhole cover and climbed inside. This is what he found: a massive concrete culvert running under the yard and funneling stormwater into a corrugated metal pipe with the bottom completely rusted out. When they called the county, they gave them a map showing the water comes from El Kelton Boulevard, a county road.
The county needs to fix it. Why should my parents be subject to fixing a drain that comes from water that's coming from a main road?
What do they tell you when you say, hey, it's your problem?
That it's not their responsibility, that this is on private property, that some contractor years ago put it here, and that we're responsible for it. That we can go get some sandbags so that the drainage does not continue and that the house doesn't collapse.
Right now, a narrow ledge separates the sinkhole from their house. On the other side of the wall is their family room.
Where does all this leave you now?
Partly that we have to leave our house because it's too close to our foundation. And they say that maybe our family room is going to collapse any minute.
They've lived in that house for 17 years. They tell me they're about to retire and simply can't afford to fix that storm drain on their own. I'm Michael Turco, only on KUSI News.
And Michael Turco is always looking for ways to help our viewers. If you've got a tough problem you need solved, be sure and give Turco a call at 858-571-FILE. That's 858-571-3453.